Hi, I'm Karen Kelloway, and I'm here with Kathy Jourdain, who is a longtime friend and a facilitator guru, I think we could say. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Karen. I'm delighted to be here with you today.
So we're going to talk today about your new book and your program that's coming up based on your Worldview Intelligence book. And I have it on Kindle, so can you show it to the world here? Building Trust and Relationship at the Speed of Change. And what we want to do today is give like little snippets of what you might offer in a workshop to help us get thinking a bit of what is worldview and how do I even begin to think through this in my own life. I have to share this first, so this is funny. So last time I saw you was we were both traveling and it was 4 a.m. Share this photo. Your book. This was not the real. This is us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very tired. 4 a.m. This is when people went to airports, and you had this copy.
It's the author copy for review.
And very proud. We're both going our different ways. So just a flashback to remember when we used to fun places and.
Seems like forever ago.
Yeah. 4 a.m. Okay. For the audience, I'm going to let you share so that, so if you can take us through a little bit about what the Worldview Intelligence program is about and a couple slides to help us.
Just start with this, Karen. Worldviews are the lenses through which we see and experience the world, and they're different for every one of us. And many of us, particularly those of us in the dominant culture, can be surprised to find out that people actually see and experience the world differently. So one of the things that we like to do is give people a sense of worldviews at work, and these images that I am going to share here right now help us begin to understand how we see and experience the world. So we will show this image quite frequently in the programs that we run. And we ask people to take note of their first impression as they look at the image, which I'm sure many people who are viewing this photo right now may have had some initial reactions. And what would your first initial reaction be?
The first is just to take me back to all the class trips I was chaperoned on. And I would be like, oh, I'm horrified. Kids, get off your phone. Like, look up. That's what I would say.
That's a very typical reaction. We hear people say, you know, they're out there experiencing a museum, and the only thing that they're doing at this moment is looking at their phones. And people they make these assumptions based on kids, technology, all of the assumptions and interpretations they hold about kids and phones. And eventually someone in the program will say, well, wait a second, maybe they're actually learning something as they're looking at their phones. And these kids are in a museum, and this is a famous Rembrandt painting that is behind them, and they're on an app to learn about that painting. So they are on a school tour, and they're using that technology in service of learning.
So that's the true story is they are using an app.
Yep. It is. And one of the reasons we show this picture is because it hit the internet a couple of years ago and went viral because of the negative comments of people as they looked at the picture.
Yeah, it almost feels disrespectful, and then of course it's not.
Right.
This is a really, really, really good example.
And I'll give you one more.
Okay.
As we go. So when you look at this slide, and we see that the bottom half of it is blanked out. But what do you see when you look at this?
Community.
Correct. Except that when we take that bar off, what we have is a collection of letters. And so now we know that this is not community, but when we put the bar back up, we all see community still because our brain works in patterns. So what's really interesting, intriguing, and also alarming about this is that even though we now know that this is not the word community, our brain is still telling us that this is the word community. And our worldviews, like our brains, work in patterns. And part of the reason for that, and part of the reason why this is worldviews are understanding worldviews is really important, is because if we begin to understand how we see and experience the world and the assumptions that come with it, then we can be a lot more curious about both our own worldview, our reactions and assumptions to certain things like images, or to natural human behavior, like the last time you were at an airport and you saw someone random walking down the hallway. How many times have we made up a story about a person that we see based on nothing except what is just right in front of our eyes?
I do that as a game because but yeah, I think that's fascinating though when we take the community and then we show that it isn't, and your brain still says, no, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that speaks to the challenge we face now as a society to really overcome such negative history and beliefs and assumptions and opinions and things we've been told. It's actually work. So it's not just business as usual. You have to think about it. You have to question what you're thinking about the stories you are telling. That's really such powerful, that one slide. And so you've gone all over the world delivering this. Do you have a story, I'm putting on the spot, from one of those areas?
Well, when we first started to deliver Worldview Intelligence, and we were really testing our theories about how relevant it could be, and we were in Minneapolis, and we were working, and we being my partner Jerry Nagel and I, who have co-created the program and co-authored the book, and he lives in Minnesota. So we were in Minnesota, and we were delivering a program. And we had quite a mix of people who came to the program, a mix of white people and people of color. And one of the women who came in with a lot of, she called it boulders. She said she came in with this huge boulder on her shoulders and a lot of assumptions about who was in the room and about what it was that we were sharing with the people in the room, and sort of ready to be on the defensive around comments that were made in the room. And as she had a chance to explore her worldview and to be in conversation with other people about worldviews, one of the things that she realized was what she was bringing to those conversations, and how to become curious, because we often say curiosity and judgment cannot exist in the same space. So the invitation was for her to be curious about her own reactions. And her comment at the end of 2 days of the program was, I came in with a big boulder on my shoulder and I'm leaving with a little rock.
Okay. That's huge. That's very powerful. I love that, the whole curiosity, if you're curious. And so are you creating an online program? Did you share that with me?
Yep, we are.
Yep. Good.
We are in partnership, a collaborative partnership with one of our clients that is based in the US. We've done Worldview Intelligence work with them, and also Art of Hosting, which infuses our work. And once we began to publish the book, our key contact in that client saw the potential to turn the book into an online learning program or a series of online learning programs. And they have the capability of doing that, and we have the intellectual property and knowledge that we've brought to the process. And we are, in a couple of weeks, launching our pilot program for Series 1. There'll be at least 3 series. There may be a 4th one around certification. Well, we're developing it as we go. And we have 2 pilot programs being launched. One is internal to our client, and the other one is a global group of people. I wanted to say practitioners, but they're some are consultants, some are inside of organizations, some are inside of larger systems, and it's a very diverse group of people representing 6 or 7 countries.
That's fantastic.
It's very exciting.
Wow. Yeah. Like, think about that. Timely.
Yeah. can't wait to see sort of what emerges out of that. So not only what the participants in the program will learn, some of whom have some familiarity with worldview intelligence and some of whom have none. So curious about what they'll learn, but also what we'll learn as we're working with them, especially in this kind of online modality.
Oh, I love it because it's going to let your work go so much further and quicker online. And we probably wouldn't have thought about this even like a year ago. We weren't having conversations about switching our courses to online.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to put up a slide at the end with your information, and so people can go and have a look and see where your online course is and work on their own world views. So thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank you, Karen. Really appreciate this opportunity.